What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of KC Trucking 101. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm your boy Kevin Cox. I'm your host. So, look, I don't want to set this up too much. Look, basically, this gentleman here, I Am Richard, he did a video reacting to his job at Amazon warehouse. Title of the video is "Working at a Warehouse Job is one of the hardest jobs in the world." And I feel this young brother, man. I got it muted because, look, I'm a truck driver. This man's a warehouse worker. He's talking like a warehouse worker. He talks like a truck driver. So it'd be a whole lot of bleeping and everything. Look, quite frankly, what he was saying was, it's it's physically hard, it's mentally hard, and it pushes people to their edges. And a lot of people, he was saying, basically would crash out or get into physical conflict, get into fights and whatnot because they're getting pushed to their edge with the work, and they're getting pushed to their edge with the relationships and the games and stuff like that people are playing. People are backstabbing. Management is playing games and splitting people up and turning people against each other, and then also just pulling straight up devious stuff to each other. And saying like working at a warehouse job is one of the hardest jobs in the world. Look, it gets a whole lot harder than working in the warehouse. Now, it really does depend on what warehouse you're working in. Um, Amazon, I think Amazon's going to be pretty typical of a current day warehouse. That's going to be the new uh, prototype for what working in a warehouse looks like. Going to have a lot of monitoring of over how productive you're being. They're scanning a lot of barcodes. There's cameras making sure you're being active. A lot of people are going to be questioning when you have downtime, and that's one of the things that he was saying more towards the end of the video, was that he actually ended up getting written up because at the end of his shift, he had 2 hours where there was literally nothing to do, and they wrote him up for not having scans. He's like, but I didn't have scans because there was nothing to scan. There was no work. Catch 22, right? Uh, Dude, they're using anything against you. And so I'm not trying to criticize the idea that working at Amazon is hard, just because there's harder things out there, harder places to work at, that that this isn't hard. It's hard at Amazon. There's a reason why them dudes was peeing in bottles, and what I'm saying, and going to the extreme like that, and talking about standing on their feet and legs going numb, all kinds of crazy stuff. I believe that stuff is true because not everybody's body reacts the same way to doing the same work. Um, when I say there's harder jobs to be had, look, I worked in the food delivery business for a long time, and go to Cisco warehouse. There's dudes out there that are touching more pieces than you are at Amazon, that with mostly lighter boxes at being at Amazon, and food is heavy. They're dealing with um, meat, cheese, water, flour, sugar, like things that are 80-pound cases, 100-pound cases, 75-pound cases, and they're chunking them all day long, and they're moving around. But it's not the hard job Olympics here. I'm not definitely not trying to take anything away from Amazon workers. I'm just saying like there's hard jobs out here. But all the stuff he was talking about, when he was saying that, and I'm gonna take him off the screen. I just want y'all to see who this is. Go check out I Am Richard. Shout out to you, I Am Richard, and basically just support his channel as a young brother that's it sounds like he's got one of his first more serious jobs. He's dealing with the work politics and dynamics and whatnot. Everything he's saying about like the little BS crap that the managers be playing, that they're gonna do that every job. Possibly maybe like a office favorite over there recording your conversation, trying to get you caught up in the mix. Certain managers telling you to do one thing and then you end up getting written up for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a very common thing. They do these sorts of things. But I want to talk about one of the major things he mentioned was that they don't treat you like a human being. They treat you like a number. This is KC Trucking 101. We talk about trucking. We get treated like this so much. We get treated like we're just a truck, just a trailer number. You're just a route number. You're just a delivery. Are you on time or are you late? That's all they see when they see you on the computer. They're not saying, dang, you know what, that delivery's 30 minutes behind. What's going on with Kev? They're like, no, why is route number so and so red on the screen? Why isn't it green? There's 15 green dots and this dot is red. Who is that person? Call that person. And they're not gonna say, "Hey, Kev, how you doing, man? Is everything okay? How's your family? You know what I'm saying? You having a decent day? You know, did you have something going on in your personal life?" They're gonna be like, "Why are you late? What's your ETA? You know, what's your 20? Where you at? Traffic shouldn't be that bad. You need to hurry up. Or you couldn't get diesel? Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Don't worry about it, boss. Go ahead and get empty." You know what I mean? They're gonna be on that type of vibe. But you're gonna get treated like you're just a truck and trailer number. When you're in trucking, when you're in warehouse, you're gonna be treated like you're scanner, a scanner to scan boxes, and you're gonna be a quota. Did you meet quota? Did you go above quota? And if you go above, they're gonna give you a little bit of a dime, like a nickel and dime little bonus, based, compared to how much more extra money you made for them. So this is super duper common. So what's the big picture I'm trying to draw from this? Be prepared when you get into trucking. You're a new CDL graduate. You're getting your first job. You got to eat crap for your first year. You got to take what you can get. It's not only crappy jobs, but it's the lower quality jobs for new people, right? And it makes sense. They shouldn't give you the best job when you don't have any driving experience. So they're not going to put you into the best equipment. They're not going to put you onto the accounts with the highest paying customers, because it's a risk. If you go crash into their warehouse, we may lose the customer, right? But pay your dues, do your first year, and then, while you're in that year, investigate where you want to go in the trucking industry. And within that industry, start looking and seeing what's cushier, what companies have better benefits packages, pay their drivers better, treat their drivers better, be asking drivers how they like it there. Now, there's a whole lot of guys, and you're going to see this at the warehouse too. There's a whole lot of guys. It's a lot of want to puff their chest out. Oh man, this is nothing. This is easy. Oh man, I love it. They treat me all right. They treat me all right. I make a lot of money here. Do Glassdoor, do Indeed. Look and see how much that job is actually paying. Because a lot of these guys are going to front and act like they're making 100,000 when that job pays $22 an hour. You ain't working long enough to make $100,000, my dude. Everybody be lying. A lot of dudes are always in a pissing contest, always trying to act like they're winning over everyone else. They don't have a special deal with the manager. Now him and the manager may be the only one speak Spanish on your shift, so maybe he gets a little bit of preferential treatment or something of that nature. But it's never just going to be there's a dude over here making six figures and everyone else is over here making 60,000, right? That wouldn't make any sense unless there's like embezzlement. That's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is games, politics, haters, just straight up haters, dude. And he was talking about people getting pushed to the edge. So let's just say the office is being some jerks and they're playing little games and they're trying to find any reason to write people up. Oh, you're more than 3 minutes late. You passed the 3-minute grace period. I need you to sign this for me, big dog. Yeah, I hate it. Corporate, you know what I mean? Or you hit that bump and drive cam went off and they saw you adjusting the stereo. Said you were touching electronic devices and that's a distracted driver. Or, you're taking a bite of a granola bar. I've had someone ask me why I was taking a bite of a granola bar while I was driving. Right? Look, they're gonna do this stuff. Learn how to navigate this. What exactly are they looking for? Find the little obstacles and learn how to overcome them. Don't get caught off guard. If there's a drive cam in your truck over the first couple of weeks, hit that bigger pothole. See, does that set off my drive cam? Know your truck. Because some of these trucks, the drive cam don't hardly go off. I've had trucks where the drive cam was about as sensitive as can be. And actually that can be a good thing because there'll be so many drive cam reported little video clips. And just to be clear, guys, a drive cam isn't constantly recording. It's constantly recording, constantly deleting. If you hit the brakes extra hard, turn extra hard, or brake extra hard, it'll save like 7 seconds before and 3 seconds after that incident, that event that triggered it. So it saves little 10-second clips. So learn your truck and what sets it off. Learn what potholes and what bumps and dips in the major areas where you keep on having to drive. Learn if those set those off and on that particular truck. And maybe make notes even. Write it down. Write down tractor numbers. Remember the little peculiarities and also have a good relationship with your fleet. Your shop, your mechanic shop, be writing your trucks up. If that stuff breaks or if that stuff malfunctions or fails, they're going to put that on you and act like no matter what, it's the driver's fault. They're also going to try to make you, and this is something he said, on the video, Mr. I Am Richard, he said, know your job. Know your job. Now, I mentioned this in another video. When I got my CDL, I tried. I failed repeatedly because I didn't go to a CDL school. But eventually I got it by the seat of my pants reading the book. And I was so happy. I'm bragging to an OG driver. And he was like, hey, man, congratulations. Now you're just a driver, right? And at first I was offended. But after a while, I became proud to be just a driver. I'm happy. It takes stress off my shoulders. Excuse me. It takes stress off my shoulders that I'm just a driver, because these fools want you to repair tail lights. They want you popping the hood, checking spark plugs, looking at fuel filters and all this. I ain't no mechanic. I'm just a driver. They want me going in here talking to, you get to the account, find out that the last 2 deliveries didn't make it because they could never, with the way the route is set up, they can never make it up there in time and make it back without violating their hours. But you're a more efficient driver. You didn't stop and take a 45-minute nap at that truck stop or what have you. Maybe you rode a different way that they didn't know or whatever, and you were able to do something they didn't. And so you get to that account and they're so pissed off with your company. They're like, oh, ABC Trucking, you trying to come up in here? Man, I need to know why y'all didn't make it the last 2 days and blah, blah, blah. He didn't care that you drove through the blizzard, that you're the only one that knows how to chain up in less than 30 minutes to make it through that snow. He doesn't care about any of that. The only thing he cares about is he sees one of y'all again, and y'all ain't about to come over here and mess them over, right? So what you do, give him the 1-800 number, give him the manager's number. Don't sit there and go back and forth with him, try to save that relationship. Stay respectful. Oh, you know what? Yes, sir. Here's the number to corporate. Here's the number to the main office. Here's the number to transportation. Here's the number to management. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you and save this relationship. I'm just a driver. Keep that mindset, keep that stress off you, because you know what? Just getting up and down the road safe is stressful enough. He needs to take some of that to heart for the warehouse aspect of it. My experience with warehouses, bro, he wasn't lying. Like the inter-employee dynamics in warehouses can get drastic. When I was my first serious job, when I moved out my mom's house, I worked at Dr. Pepper. I was merchandising grocery stores. I did not go for the warehouse. I went for the merchandising just because I just wanted to move around a little bit more, not be stuck inside. And lucky I did, because there was like a war. This was in Houston, Texas, about 2004, 2005. There was a war between, I think it was the pickers and the loaders. I think there were different ethnicities. I think it was Mexicans versus Cubans or something like that. And somebody got stabbed in the neck. It's 2005-ish, I want to say. Yeah, I think I got my second route. Yeah, I got my second route. I'm just starting to become somebody. I was a case thrower. I was able to get those stores filled up pretty fast. I was becoming a name up there, looking to become a salesman or a supervisor or something like that, or move on to Pepsi, which I ended up doing because they weren't going to move me up. I wasn't connected. I wasn't the homie, and I didn't kiss butt quite enough to get that move up. I moved on to Pepsi. That paid better, had better benefits, had a lower workload, better equipment, and whatnot. So I ended up making that move instead, which is where I ended up getting my CDL. But before I did, somebody got stabbed in the neck up there at Dr. Pepper, man. And I don't know who got stabbed. I don't know who did the stabbing, but that news ran through the whole shop. Everybody knew about that. So it's very true. And matter of fact, that happened at Cisco in Denver. Somebody got stabbed in the neck, and he didn't even make it. I was there. I was working there at that time. The dude got stabbed in the neck. They shut that facility down. A friend of mine actually saw the dude bleed out. So yeah, I want to say around I think it was 2016, 2017. Dude got stabbed, and it was a long going beef. And on that day, that guy had been he was trying to beat the one guy up. I think they crashed their pallet jacks into each other somehow, some way. I think one was bullying the other. So, you get those. You get warehouse bullies. You get forklift bullies. Some of these dudes, they get on these forklifts. You see them driving crazy on the road. They're driving that forklift around, but you got these 2 steel metal forks sticking out the front. You could impale somebody. And then also when your forks are way up in the air, hit me. I could fall over, and forklift accidents are no joke. People have major injuries, if not lose their life on forklift accidents. So it's not nothing to play around with. These forklifts, they look small, like a small little yellow little basket type of thing, but they weigh tens of thousands of pounds because they need to be counterbalanced to the freight that they have hanging on the front on those forks. So if you can lift it up, way up in the air, it creates a long lever, so there's actually metal plates just to weigh it down. So these forklifts, dude, forklifts accidents are serious, serious, serious. Um, these guys be playing around, bro. They be playing around in this warehouse. And the thing about warehouse jobs, no shade, no hate, this is low skilled labor. They take people with checkered pasts. They take people that may have just gotten out, may have done a little time, may have sat down and may have went off to school for a little bit, and may not have it all. May have some anger management issues. They may just be working here so they can hit a lick. It may just be a big old criminal plot they got going on. I might just be getting in here so I can get those truckloads off. Uh, that is not a joke. At Dr. Pepper, where I worked, my supervisor at Dr. Pepper and my manager from the local grocery store, who happened to be my neighbor — I lived in a small town — happened to be my neighbor where I lived with my mom's before I moved out. Uh, they both actually went to the penitentiary because when Monster Energy first hit the streets like that, it was being distributed by Dr. Pepper Bottling Company in Houston, and that was before they partnered with Keurig. I think it's Dr. Pepper Keurig now, or yeah, something like that. But back then it was Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, and Monster hit, and they were getting rid of, or I say, illegally selling 53-foot 18-wheeler full of Monster Energy by the truckloads at a time. And I got a gist of it. I saw a little something, pulled up to the side of me, told me, "Hey, you didn't see anything going on?" I actually didn't know what was happening. And then he got arrested, and that was exactly what it was for. And I wasn't a witness, but they got convicted. They're gone. I didn't have an opportunity to speak to anybody about it because I didn't know it even happened. They got convicted, and I didn't hear that they had been arrested. So, but some of these people are hitting licks. In Denver, before I got up there, they got busted for — the warehouse guys were shipping weed in Cisco trailers to other states because weed was legal in Colorado and it was illegal in other states. They were getting it off by the truckload there. That was a whole thing. Said about half the warehouse went down with that one because everyone knows what's going on. You're not loading trucks full of weed and no one knows. Like, they know management's gone. Workers are gone. Mad workers are gone. People that work at the gate are gone. Security people are gone. Like a lot of people went away for that sort of stuff. So, and I don't have a lot of firsthand information on it, but this is a well-known incident. It's probably out there in the news. You can Google that stuff. Like, I don't have no reason to make any of that up. But that Dr. Pepper Monster Energy fraud thing, I know two of the main people that were not just implicated, but caught red-handed and convicted and served a lot of time for it. So, these people that are doing these jobs, man, they're scraping to get. I'm not saying that they're bad people. The main thing of it is they're struggling. They're not doing the best. They're not rich. No one's going to get rich working in the — no one's going to get rich driving a truck. Don't let these guys cap to you. They're going to tell you, "Oh man, I'm driving this truck, man. I'm doing good. I bought a rig. I'm making 150,000. How much is that truck note? How much is that insurance? How much is that oil change? How much is that tire? You blew that tire last week. How much that tire cost you?" Those tires they cost a grip. Let a hose blow out. Let a fuel injector go out. Man, I knew a guy, he had a fuel injector go out. He was fighting that dang fuel injector for 6 months straight. They ended up shutting that truck down for a while so he could save up the money to get that fuel injector put in. 1 out of 8. You see what I'm saying? It is not a game. The dudes that are owning it for themselves, they take all that liability onto themselves and they try to run it and make as much money as they can, try to absorb that cost. But it is costly to run a truck. If you're working for a company, they're absorbing that cost. Thus and therefore, they're not paying you enough to get you rich because it is costly to run a trucking company. They're paying — if you own a truck, you're paying brokers. If you don't own the truck, the company's paying brokers. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's getting rich in trucking. And so I wanted to kind of zoom out a little bit on the idea of trucking. I'm gonna step away from the warehouse stuff because it's drama, drama, drama in trucking. And young man, I am Richard. Stay encouraged, man. If you can, start taking a course here and there, and just up your skill level, up your experience. Nowadays, they respect credentials more, so you can get a certification in a couple of things and maybe take your wage up a little bit. Get a TWIC, transportation worker. God, I can't remember what TWIC stands for. But there's a few little certifications you can do that can just increase your hourly wage, even if you stay at the same job. Look into some of those things. Google that. There's little hacks to make a couple extra bucks without even changing jobs. But I want you guys to think about these jobs in a certain way. We're talking about trucking here, so I'm talking about a trucking career. All right. I don't want to drive trucks for my career. I want to be in the trucking industry for my career. Is what I would tell you if I'm putting myself in your with my wisdom. I've been driving since 2006, so I can tell you these companies come and go, all of them. Every one of these major companies, the job that they're giving you is always temporary. It's as good as the money is. If the money starts to go away, you start to go away. There's no such thing as a guaranteed job. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Oh, even in the medical field, I'm hauling medical this. If they decide that it's too expensive to run their own trucks, they're going to let go of all the company drivers and hire third party. It may cost more per hour, but they don't have to run them every day. They don't have to give them guaranteed 40 hours. They don't have to pay them overtime after 40. Always milking the clock, making 55 hours a week, getting that sweet old check. No, I'll pay $2 more an hour to this temp agency. I'm going to tell them to send me drivers for 6 hours at a time, 4 days a week. Why would I pay you overtime? I'll just bring one extra dude paying $2 more an hour instead of time and a half. See where I'm going with this? So, like when I got hired at Pepsi, I got hired and it was a wave of hiring. You know, whenever you get on at a place, people like to act like whenever they walk into a company that that's the baseline. That wasn't the baseline. They may have been aggressively recruiting. They're not just always hiring. A lot of these places, they have a baseline, like an average amount of employees that they keep. And so look at a company that you're going to go drive a truck for. Look at it as an individual stock in the market. So let's say you're hauling electronics. So look at it like a Tesla stock. That stock goes up, that stock goes down. You're not diversified like that. You're not hauling everything. Even if you are going multiple types of freight, you're not doing all types of freight. You're not just doing general freight just across the entire board. And even if you are, you're in a certain area and that typecasted into a certain category. It could be in an agriculture area. All that general freight is going to be agricultural. It could be in a tech zone. All that general freight is going to be tech freight. So as those different industries go up and down like an individual stock, so does your job security in trucking. All right, so this is why you have to diversify your mindset and think about owning a truck and not driving that truck. Hiring somebody to drive that truck. If you drive that truck, you drive it temporarily until you can either buy a second truck and hire someone to drive that one. Think of it as like a rental property. You want to immediately, as quickly as possible, have a second truck and have those trucks working for you while you're not driving them. Excuse me, I'm hitting my hands. I'm waving around too much. So you'll come into a company, say I come to Pepsi. They have 50 drivers before I show up. They're aggressively hiring. It's the beginning of summer. It's June. They're like, oh man, we need to get to 100 drivers. Boom, they hire up 50 more people. I'm like, man, I finally got my foot in the door. You know, I'm ready to get going. This is my baseline right here. I'm doing good. I'm earning maybe 1,500 a week. I'm like, I can work with this. I'm gonna work my way up. I'm gonna be a good worker. X, Y, and Z. You know, all the OGs like say, young blood, keep your nose clean. Don't come in late. Be professional. Don't be sagging your jeans. Don't get caught cussing around the office and stuff. Don't piss off those white people. Type stuff. Just general like, hey, you know, be above the rest of them, right? They're not telling you that for no reason. They're telling you that because for the last 20 years, there's 50 drivers. And then right before summer, they try to hire another 50. Why? Because 25 of you are just going to quit outright as soon as you actually see what the real job is. Next 15 are going to be like, they're going to be stragglers. You're going to, yeah, crap, I didn't want to do this much work. Maybe I can't even handle it. I can't just quit. Like I needed this job or whatever. And they're only going to last a month. And then the other people, they're going to work too many hours. Maybe another 5 are going to work too many hours. Their wife is going to be like, I never see you. It causes relationship problems or family problems. They can't pick up the kid from school. Daughter's crying, Daddy, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. They end up straggling and quitting. And then like maybe 10 dogs show up that actually stick it out and stay. The ones that come to work with dirt under their fingernail. Those ones. Those are the ones that stay and do this real work, chunking this soda off the side of this truck in triple digit temperatures with no air conditioning in the truck. It takes a dog to do. That was something else that I Am Richard was talking about. Man, I want to just keep on giving this man shouts. I want y'all to check him out. He's young and he's out here getting it, and he's just speaking his mind. But he made a whole lot of real points, and he was speaking facts. Like he didn't say nothing that wasn't true. You got to be a dog if you're gonna work at these places. The only reason they pay a wage that can actually cover any of your bills is because you're doing some hard work. They wouldn't pay you no money if it was easy. And then if it is easy, and then they know they could pay less. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at it as they're doing all this messed up stuff trying to make the job hard. Look at it as trying to get their money out of you, their money's worth, because they're investing. Whether you think of it like that or not, think about if you were the owner or you were the management up there. I'm paying you $20 an hour. You hanging out for 2 hours at the end of the shift. So I get it. Not saying that there's work. I'm just saying I understand both sides of it. Having started a couple small businesses, had an employee once or twice. Just I know what it's like on both sides of that. So keep that in mind. Be thinking about creating an enterprise as opposed to running a truck and thinking you're going to be financially independent from there on. Now, another quality mindset about this could be, you know what? I'm just going to buy my own truck. So even if there is BS, I only have to deal with my BS, not somebody else's BS. That's fair enough. I just heard that recently from a friend of mine. He's talking about moving from Cali down to Houston or at least Texas and getting a job paying similar with about half of the cost of living as living here in the LA. Very realistic. Good idea. I say watch out because DOT is super duper out there. They be on that super. Just some of the people are a little bit wilder in some areas. You get out there in that country, some of those cops are crazy. DOT, I don't know if you guys know about it. Out here, they'll have what's called a blitz. All right, and that's where basically if you're in a truck, you're going to get pulled over. Maybe twice. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go through an area, they're just shutting it down. Everybody's going to get pulled over. And it'll be like, man, dang, I went to the weigh station. I got pulled in. I got inspected. I went over there and they pulled me over and checked my hours of service. Come to Houston with that. There's this high school on the side of 45 North, inside of the city limits, that's just inside of 610 North. They take over the entire football field parking lot. And they run every 18-wheeler off that freeway into that parking lot and make that a gigantic weigh station and inspection station. They are getting every single offense they can get out of you. I've had level 2 DOT inspections because I ran a yellow light. You know what I'm saying? And they got me for a tractor tail light out. When I was driving the side load trailer, I had to cock my trailer and my tractor to the side at 90 degrees so he could even inspect my stuff. And he knew he didn't see me run that red light. He's just like, I tell you what, I'm just going to do a level 2 DOT inspection. Get out your paper. Because he couldn't find nothing wrong. So just think about it like that. You're working for that company, you're going to catch that BS. It's going to be like that at every single company. Even if the company is good and you're making good money, that's because you got really, really, really lucky. And all it takes at those really, really good companies that you're really lucky to be at, management to change. Somebody get sick, pass away. Somebody get promoted and go up to corporate. Or somebody come down from corporate. Someone get demoted from corporate and come down and move to your location. Or the only reason why they're paying so good and everything is so cushy is because they're not following all the guidelines that corporate gave them. And then boom, somebody from corporate comes down, does an audit, like, wait a minute, I ain't doing this. Y'all ain't making them do that. How come they don't got to scan? You know, like in your case, how come you don't got to scan all those barcodes when you've been sitting around for 2 hours? You mean tell me you didn't get no scans for 2 hours straight? And they're like, well, we didn't have any packages. And corporate's like, that's a write up. I need something to hang over his head so that when there are barcodes to scan, he will scan them even faster. Psychological warfare. Maybe your location feels like that's messed up. Maybe corporate doesn't care what your management feels like, and if your management won't enforce it, they'll get fired. You see what I'm saying? So you can even sometimes in most cases you can't even really look at the managers and be mad at the managers for that. You got to have a certain heartlessness to be in that position too. Um, and it's just like that with driving jobs, man. You know, we saw people coming down from corporate, you know, and it was almost exclusively black and brown people working at my job. But we saw some random white people with their shirts tucked in, walking around. Hadn't seen them before. They didn't have the same accent. They were obviously from another state. And I was like, guys, about to be a whole bunch of random drug tests, and people are about to get fired. The next day, 40 drug tests went out, 40 randoms, and I think 4 people got fired that next week. That's a lot. All of within 36, 72 hours, you're chopping heads and trying to get them everybody gone with those drug tests. It just takes a little longer for those drug tests to come back if they're positive. So it'd be hard to tell in a couple of days. So look, this is normal. This is to be expected. This is why you want to work for yourself. It's why you don't want to be a company man. You want to be a company man, you got to adjust, see all this stuff that he was saying, see the stuff that I'm talking about, take it to heart, my guy, because this is not going to stop. It's only going to get worse because now we got more surveillance cameras. Now we got AI. Now, so I was complaining about DriveCam. DriveCam is just sitting there, just blanketly recording. Now, that's the old cameras. The new cameras got AI, bro. They're looking at your eyes and seeing what you're looking at. They're like, oh, you're looking at the stereo for too long. Eyes on the road. It will literally tell you eyes on the road. It will tell you that your seatbelt's loose, even if it's hooked. That is inconvenient. That is frustrating. And then sometimes the AI is wrong. The AI was telling me to put my seatbelt on for a whole shift one time. Like AI will tell you that you need to put your hands at 10 and 2. Put your hands at 10 and 2. It'll tell you you're touching, like if you take too long to adjust the stereo in there. Everything, man. Like it's crazy, and it's going to get worse. Pretty soon, AI is going to be telling you that you're drowsy, you know, and you think they're going to tell you to pull over and take you a good old power nap? No, they're going to tell you bring it back to the house and clock out. Make sure you come in to work prepared. Make sure you get enough sleep, or we're not going to let you clock in, type stuff. Or maybe even give you a write-up because you came to work while you're tired. Most people would say, man, I was tired. Gotta go to work and be professional. They might be like, hey, you came to work tired. Do it again and you might get fired. You know what I'm saying? So try not to make yourself susceptible to these things. And while you are susceptible to them, take this man's words, find the gems within it. Everything he was saying was facts. Everything he's saying is true. I don't disagree with anything he was saying. I'm just saying broaden that conversation, because that's going to continue happening till you don't work for these people. And even that comes with its own headache. So what it comes down to is separate yourself, own your own stuff, and then make it so you don't have to do all that work in the thing that you own. So some liability comes off of you. If anything goes down, that's the corporation goes down and not you individually. See what I'm saying? And then try to scale it. Scale it meaning you don't want one truck. You want like 3 or 4. I think that's going to be the cushy zone. It's like 3 or 4 trucks. You can get some real stuff done. You don't have crazy insurance, crazy liability, crazy, if something goes wrong, like you got $1 million in the air. No. Just got 3, 4 trucks running, 4 or 5 trucks. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I can make this work. And I'm bringing home bread. I mean, bread to you, bread to me. Maybe these millionaires out here may not feel like, that you're really doing it really too grande if you're only clearing like, several hundred thousand, like maybe, probably less than $1 million for 3 or 4 trucks running. But depending on what the freight is, you could probably get $1 million coming annually. How much risk you're willing to take, how long you got these trucks out for. But you got to get quality drivers, and it's hard to find that balance of getting quality drivers and being able to afford them. So you're going to have to run that risk also. But I would say For the first little giddy up, get you a 1099 driver. Your driver 1099. Run them how they want to run, and see if you can make it work. Like it's like a really, look, I'm seeing what you need, what you're willing to do, what you like to do, and I'm gonna see how I can make that work for me. What I need, the money I want to make, figure out how to make the numbers work. Find some brokers that have a good professional attitude and a good response. They're responsive. They're not liars. A lot of these brokers are liars. They run game. They're over there in Pakistan, and they don't even know. They don't even know the difference between Washington D.C. and Washington State. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they'll lie to you. Oh yeah, I got a full loader for you. Oh, it's gonna be a short trip, boss. Or oh no, man, it's gonna be 500 miles, and you end up going like 200 miles up the road. Like seriously crazy stuff. Oh no, just see if they'll take it. You're scheduled for 5 days from now. You get there tomorrow, and they want you to sit out there in the parking lot for 3 days. You know what I mean? Uh, so it's hard. You got to do your research before you go buying a truck. During that time, while you're doing your research and getting all those ins and outs figured out, work for a company, get some good benefits, get a little seniority, get a little experience. So if you bump anything, have any accidents, it's not your money that you're losing, right? Because write-ups don't follow you into your truck. You buy your truck, those write-ups won't matter. Those preventable accidents and whatnot that didn't end up on your license, as long as the cops don't get called, it doesn't follow you. So technically, I have no accidents on my right? So check me out, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm gonna let you go. There's a lot to think about, and hopefully, this message is being received, and hopefully, it helps somebody out there. If this hit home to you, please share it. Hopefully, I Am Richard gets a look at the video, and hopefully he shares it. He's got a decent amount of followers as well, and y'all go support that man. Everybody out there driving, be safe out there. Hope everybody has a safe trip, and hit me up if you have any question down in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I drop some new stuff. Check out my other videos because I do relationship talks with my wife. I do political stuff on Left Black, and I'm starting a new one talking about technology stuff. Kev Talks Tech. So if you're digging me, if you're buying my chili, come forward with your boy, man. Once again, my name's Kevin Cox. Peace.